What's up, guys? I want to make a kind of a response video to one of the questions I get asked most often, which is, and I get asked this in email or in the comment section, but how dangerous is the front line for a foreign fighter in Ukraine? Now, those of you and now, bear with me here because there's a lot of people here, maybe some younger people who are curious about this. There's a lot of people curious about this, and I know there's going to be a handful of you that are like, well, what the fuck do you think? Of course it's dangerous. But bear with me because it's a good question, and there's really no stupid questions when it comes to making a decision as big as if you're going to go fight in this conflict. Okay, so I think one of the best ways for me to portray the danger of this circumstance of being a foreign fighter in Ukraine is to share some of my experiences. Um, this could be I could sound like a broken record to a couple of you that have watched some of my videos in the past, but I want to explain. I want to start by explaining how I spent my day to day. I am in Ukraine currently. I plan on being here for a long time. I'm no longer in the Legion though, but today I met up with my buddy Tex, who was my platoon commander in the International Legion and Charlie 3. Him and I visited our buddy Peru, who we found out was just taken to the hospital in the city that we're currently located in for surgery and rehabilitation. We visited him, and Peru had lost his entire leg, left leg, all the way up to the groin. So from the groin down, nothing. He took a direct mortar fire or shot to his left leg, and that was pretty much it. It just shredded his entire leg. They were able to get a tourniquet on it and whatnot, but by the time they got him to this actual hospital in Kharkiv, which is the closest place, which is still crazy, they had to remove the leg. Okay, so this is Peru was actually a firefighter and an EMT as well, with no military experience. So him and I kind of had this bond early on in training because we're both like, okay, we don't have military experience, but we're here. We got medical experience and some, and firefighting, different emergency service experience. But so we had this bond. Seeing him injured like that is absolutely heartbreaking. Now he's in great spirits. He's really, really tough. He does not regret anything, nor should he, and he's going to be taken care of, right? So hopefully financially and physically and every other way by the Ukrainian armed forces and government, whatever, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is the second day that we visited him, and as we're in this hospital, I'm looking around, and in every single room of this hospital that I walk by, somebody's missing an arm, a leg, both arms, both legs, hands, feet. I mean, it is it's like something out of a horror movie, man. It's so gnarly, and I want this part of the conflict is not portrayed in the Western media or news. It's all about Ukraine had another assault and airstrike on a weapons depot deep into behind enemy lines, and which is awesome, great, fantastic. This is very much a war fought in the media, and I think the more positivity we can push about Ukraine, the better, absolutely. But for people who are considering coming and fighting in this war, this may be a disservice to them because it gives them the wrong impression that Ukraine is just stomping out Russia and there's few casualties, and it's all Call of Duty games. Okay, so this part of it where you're just seeing hundreds of troops in this hospital, of soldiers of all different ages scooting around in wheelchairs with no legs and arms and body parts and bandages and eyes missing and fingers and hands and God, man, you name it. Um, it's something to consider, right? If you are thinking about coming out here, the odds of you getting injured are extremely high. And I want to say this, and this is going to be a controversial topic, but I think with the amount of experience I have out here at this point, I think I can say it. 99.9% of foreign fighters who are out here on the front line, if they stay longer than 3 to 4 months, I'm saying that they get injured. It's a 99% chance you get injured if you're here for 3 to 4 months. Anybody who is anybody who's a subscriber that watches my videos who's been here, they know people who have been here. I know you guys can back me up in the comments here because it's absolutely absurd, man. It's I say this in every video, but it's a numbers game because of the sheer amount of artillery and just enemy fire, artillery, mortars, drones, tanks, armored personnel vehicles, grenades, you name it. The sheer amount of enemy fire makes it just a numbers game until you get injured, right? When you're sitting in a hole like this, and the entire time you're taking enemy fire, mortars and artillery, it just takes one to land in your hole here, right? You could be the best soldier in the entire world, elite, Delta Force, MARSOC, SEAL, right? You take an arty round in that pit where you're sitting, okay, that's it. All right. So that's extremely important for me to reiterate, and I'll reiterate as many times as I have to. I don't care if I sound like a broken record because it's so. After seeing all these kids and men and women today and yesterday in this hospital with missing limbs and their lives forever changed, it's something that I think cannot be stressed enough, right? So this was specifically my example with Peru. Now, most of you guys know Tex if you have been on my following me for a bit. Tex 2 months ago was shot 5 times during an ambush with an PKM. Shot 5 times with 7.62 rounds. 2 of the rounds stopped in his plate carrier. 3 of them went straight through him. And while he was on the ground, they were lobbing grenades, and one of them rolled right up on his right leg and just torched a hole straight through his right thigh. So lucky. He is extremely lucky, and I have this footage, and it is awful to watch, to be honest. And of course, I've got to get Tex's approval and everything to show you guys any of this stuff, but it's awful, man. It is terrible. The first time I saw it, when right after it happened, and he sent me his GoPro footage, I teared up. It's terrible. So there we are in this hospital. I'm with Tex in Peru. Tex still has 2 more surgeries coming up. Peru is just at the beginning of his stages. The bandages on his leg are still bleeding. So here's 2 examples right here, right? Okay, let's back it up a little bit further. On the front line, I deployed to the front line March 7th, 2023 with my guys to Charlie 3 platoon. Excuse me. I lived in a house with Cole and Kyle. This is our village, actually. We stayed in different houses like this. Everybody was kind of paired up, 3 to 4 people a house. I stayed in a house with Cole and Kyle. They had been there much longer than me. So I was put there because Kyle was the only combat medic in the unit. Until I arrived, I was the second combat medic, so I was to basically shadow Kyle, learn the ropes, where we keep the narcotics, where we lock stuff up, medic shit. These 2 guys, a week after I had left the front line, they went on a mission up in Bakhmut and were both killed. These guys, 2 Canadian guys, both with extensive military backgrounds, combat as well, both killed by artillery or mortars. Okay, there's an example. Now, just before this had happened, I was on a mission with Shaka, and when Shaka and I returned back to, here's Shaka right here. When Shaka and I returned back to our safe village. This is the safe village. Um, when we returned back here after our mission, we had found out our platoon commander was killed in the village. We're like, how the fuck did that happen? Apparently, he was in the garden of his house. You know, all these, like I said, we all have our own little houses. He was in the garden of his own house. Way up above, there was a enemy drone waiting for him. So as he came out, dropped a frag. The frag exploded next to him, not on him, but he caught a piece of shrapnel straight through the throat. He bled out in less than a minute. That was our platoon. No, I'm sorry, our company commander, the big dog. The big dog, not our platoon commander. Okay? So it's the point I'm trying to get across here is it's constant death, it's constant wounding, it's carnage, really. Still don't know why this is in this album. I need to take it out. At this point, it's just funny. I'll just leave it for an inside joke. It's carnage. While you're there, it doesn't seem as gnarly as it really is, right? Because you're kind of in the shit. You're close to it, but your perspective of it is almost detached. I don't know. It's a really strange thing, right? And I'm fumbling over my words because I don't really know how to express how you feel about these losses while you're there still in combat or on the front. Um, but it's strange. I don't know. If anybody has a way of expressing this better than me in the comments, please let me know. But these were just legionnaires, by the way, getting hurt or dying. I'm not even mentioning to you the amount of Ukrainians that were killed on operations that I went on, which was just a handful. So, yes, it's fucking dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. I would say if I were a parent and my son said, I want to go do this, I would say absolutely fucking not, knowing what I know now. Now, the thing is, the people who do want to go do this and are serious about it, there's pretty much nothing that you can tell them that will change their mind, right? They're that type of person. Some may say a different breed, if you will. That was cheesy. They're going to go no matter what. But again, I will always try to share how dangerous this shit is every time I get the chance. And the fact that I'm still getting so many emails and questions in the comments regarding the danger of it means one of two things. Either I'm not portraying it well enough, the danger, or we're just getting a lot of new subscribers, followers who haven't seen the previous videos yet. Okay, but again, I'll reiterate it every time. Here's Cole and Kyle right here, the guys I lived with. Two Canadians. Kyle here, the medic. Cole right here, he was one of the commanders, or I guess they would consider it like a sergeant in the U.S. military. Both were killed in Bakhmut. They had this big televised ceremony back in Canada for them. It was very nice. But just absurd, man. It's I'm not a very emotional person, to be honest, and I think it's something that vulnerable moment here. It's something. It's a downfall of mine. It's a fault, and it's something that I want to work on through therapy. Get more in touch with my emotions, no matter how gay that sounds. But it's true. I think to be a better person, this is something that you want to do. Anyways, anytime I talk about these guys getting hurt or dying, it's tough, man, but it's so important. because you grow such a bond and a relationship with these guys that you deploy with. You'd never want to see them hurt, right? And they to you, they never want to see you hurt. I remember when we were in training and it was close. There's a couple of these come to Jesus meetings the commanders will have with you, basically saying everybody's sitting down or you're in formation, and they say, look to your left, look to your right. Only one of you is going to be here by X date, right? By 3 months from now, 5 months from now, whatever. Just based on the statistics that they clearly have. And even this, man. Now, granted, when they did this definitely weeded out some of the people who were just unsure about being there, right? They're like, okay, yeah, maybe this isn't for me, which I think is great. And it's a brave decision to realize that it's not for you. Hey, you came, you showed up. Maybe you can use some of your specialties or abilities in a different field to help Ukraine. But then there's the dumb asses like me who are like, yeah, doubt it. We'll be all right. Our team's different. Our platoon's different, right? Yeah, I was wrong. So that's really it. At this point, I'm rambling, but and maybe I rambled this whole fucking video. I've got all my notes written down here, and I kind of jumped around them, but I think I touched on the main points that I wanted to. It was just something that I really thought about after visiting Peru in the hospital again today and seeing all these people. Like, shit, man, half of them younger than me, who are just gonna have a tough time of it moving forward. On the bright side, they're alive, right? Um, so that's it. This guy fucking depressing fast, but I love you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. We're growing this channel, man, and I'm very grateful for it. And I just got to say, thank you guys so much. I'm posting 2 to 3 videos a day, so I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Stay safe.